Fear. It is the most dangerous enemy a trader will ever face. It creeps in silently, clouds judgment, and forces traders to sell when they should be holding, and hold when they should be selling. More than bad strategies, more than wrong predictions, fear is what destroys trading accounts. And no one understood this better than Jesse Livermore, one of the greatest speculators of all time. His life was a constant battle with emotions, especially fear. And though markets have changed since his day, the psychology of trading has not. The lessons he left behind about controlling emotions are timeless. Fear cost him money in the early years of his career. He would enter a trade with sound reasoning, only to panic at the first sign of trouble. He would exit too soon, just before the real move began. He would hesitate when the perfect opportunity appeared, paralyzed by the thought of being wrong. And yet, through decades of wins and losses, Livermore developed methods to keep fear under control. Not eliminate it entirely, no trader can, but control it. And those methods are what separate professionals from amateurs. Fear in trading is not the loss itself. It is the anticipation of loss. It's the story the mind tells before the outcome is even known. That story is what causes hesitation, premature exits, and reckless mistakes. Most traders do not fail because of poor intelligence or weak strategies. They fail because fear hijacks their decision-making. To understand this, it helps to look at Livermore's beginnings. He started as a chalk boy in a brokerage office, writing stock prices on a board as they came in from the ticker. Day after day he wrote the numbers, and eventually he began to recognize patterns. He saw the footprints of human emotion in those prices: fear, greed, hope, and despair. Those observations became the foundation of his trading career. By his early 20s, Livermore had already built and lost his first fortune. And it wasn't the losses that nearly broke him, but the fear that followed. Fear that perhaps he was finished. Fear that maybe his success had only been luck. Fear that the market was too large to master. But with every setback, he studied his own emotions. With every failure, he came closer to discovering rules that would keep him from falling into the same traps. The first of those rules was preparation. Fear grows strongest in uncertainty. Traders without a plan are at the mercy of every market move. That is why Livermore entered trades only after answering 3 questions. Where will I enter? Where will I exit if I'm wrong? Where will I take profits if I'm right? By setting these boundaries in advance, he eliminated hesitation and confusion. There was no room for fear to argue with him. The plan was already written. The second rule was position sizing. Fear is proportional to risk. The larger the position, the greater the emotional pressure. Traders often put too much on the line, and the fear of losing it overwhelms them. Livermore only added to trades once the market proved him correct. He never bet everything at the start. By keeping risk manageable, he kept fear from dictating his decisions. The third rule was to obey the market, not emotions. Fear is a liar. It tells traders to sell too soon when they should hold. It whispers to stay longer when it's time to take profits. Price action, on the other hand, is honest. The market itself does not lie. Livermore learned to silence the voice of fear and listen only to what the tape was telling him. And then came the most difficult lesson: sitting tight. Most traders believe success comes from action, buying, selling, constantly doing something. But Livermore found that his biggest profits came not from trading often, but from holding strong positions through time. Fear constantly pushed him to act, but discipline required him to wait. Doing nothing was often the hardest, but also the most profitable choice. Why is fear so powerful in trading? Because trading is not only about money, it is about identity. When a trade loses, traders feel like they themselves are the loser. When a trade wins, they feel like geniuses. This emotional attachment makes fear grow even stronger. But the truth is, the market does not know who you are. It does not care about your hopes, your pride, or your pain. It simply moves. The moment traders tie their self-worth to individual outcomes, fear multiplies. The solution is detachment, realizing that one's identity is not tied to wins or losses, but to disciplined execution of a plan. Livermore's career provides vivid examples of these principles. During the panic of 1907, the financial world was in chaos. Banks collapsed, businesses failed, and the stock market plunged. Livermore was heavily short. Fear screamed at him to cover, to take what he had before it vanished. But he trusted his plan, and when the panic ended, he walked away with $3 million, a fortune for the time. That victory came not from superior intelligence, but from refusing to let fear dictate his moves. But his story was not only triumph. Livermore also suffered repeated bankruptcies. After enormous gains, he often lost focus, broke his own rules, and allowed fear or overconfidence to creep back in. These failures remind us that conquering fear is not a one-time achievement. It is a battle fought continuously, in every trade, in every market environment. Perhaps his greatest test came in 1929, during the infamous market crash. As the stock market crumbled and fortunes evaporated, fear dominated the world. Investors begged for relief. Newspapers shouted disaster. The streets were filled with despair. And yet, Livermore remained calm. He had positioned himself short before the collapse and held his ground as fear consumed everyone else. While others lost everything, he gained over $100 million. It was his greatest victory, built on discipline and mastery of fear. But even after such success, fear would return. And this is where traders often miss the lesson. Fear never disappears. It waits in the shadows. It whispers in moments of hesitation. It tempts you in times of greed. The goal is not to eliminate it, but to recognize it, to understand it, and to prevent it from steering your decisions. Fear can also be a teacher. Each time it appears, it highlights a weakness. Are you over-leveraged? Are you trading without a clear plan? Are you clinging to a trade because you've tied your ego to its outcome? Fear points to the exact problem you must solve. The traders who grow are the ones who pay attention to these lessons. Livermore's methods are as relevant today as they were a century ago. Markets may have changed, technology may have advanced, but the human heart has not. Traders still panic, they still hesitate, they still let fear drain their accounts, and the cure remains the same: preparation, discipline, position control, detachment, and patience. So what can modern traders learn? Write down your plan before you enter a trade. Control your position size so fear cannot control you. Obey the market, not your emotions. Sit tight when you are right. Learn from fear instead of running away from it. Separate your identity from your trades. And above all, remember that the market is never wrong. It simply reveals whether you have mastered yourself. The story of Jesse Livermore is both inspiring and cautionary. He built and lost fortunes multiple times. He mastered fear in great moments, but at times allowed emotions to ruin him. His life is a reminder that trading is not only about strategies and systems, but about psychology, discipline, and emotional control. Every trader listening to this has faced fear. The fear of missing out, the fear of being wrong, the fear of losing money, and every trader will face it again. But those who learn to master fear will survive. Those who let fear rule them will eventually fall. The greatest battle is never with the market. The greatest battle is within yourself. If you found value in these lessons, take action. Comment below and share the biggest fear you face in trading right now. By speaking it, you begin to take its power away. Like this video if you believe more traders need to hear it, and subscribe for more timeless wisdom.
Because markets will always change, technology will always evolve, but human emotions never change, and mastering them is the only true edge. Trade without fear. The game taught me the game, and it didn't spare me the rod while teaching. Jesse Livermore.